Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Whiskey Wednesday Show with your hosts, Ken Tizzard and Music for Goats. Brought to you in full color and stereo sound amplification provided by Trainer. Broadcasting into the world from Storyhouse Studios in Campbellford, Ontario, you'll hear the best of old country, folk, Americana, punk rock, and 80s music delivered into your homes every week for free. And don't forget your regular dose of new and original songs from Music for Goats. Never be alone on a Wednesday night again, 8 p.m. Eastern and 9:30 for those of you in Newfoundland. Join the Whiskey Wednesday regulars on Facebook to be a part of the conversation, or watch on YouTube as well. Pour a drink, a cup of tea, or a nice cold long tooth. Roll up your best smoke and sit back and relax. Don't forget to hit the share button to help spread the word. The Whiskey Wednesday Show, every week. Cheers.
Yeah, I'm on. I just got my shoes on just in time. I was racing to get my shoes there ready. How's everybody doing tonight? It is Whiskey Wednesday once again. My name is Ken Tizzard. Myself and Music for Goats are your hosts for the evening, help you through another Wednesday night. If you're not out mowing your lawn or trimming your hedges or doing whatever it is you need to get to be doing, because it's that time of the year where there's always something to be done outside. We had a beautiful storm here last night, man. Were you guys here for that? You were here for it.
Yeah,
Did you get it over at your place?
Yeah.
Amazing. What about you, Barry? Did you get it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, you live across the street from me. Of course you would have gotten it, yeah.
Surprise. It
was sunny over there.
It was a pretty awesome storm, I must say. What a lot of fun. We got Mike Heffernan on the show tonight. Mike is a Newfoundland, I don't know, I just always thought he was one of the Newfoundland punk rockers. But apparently he's like an educated dude. And he studies like oral history and storytelling, and the book that he interviewed me for about 5 years ago just came out. It's called Let It All Fall, and the title and everything will be explained in the interview. But yeah, it's not his first book apparently. He's got a bunch of books out. He's like an author. He's like a smart guy. So anyways, we had a nice time hanging out and chatting, and we're going to share that with you in a little bit. It's just a trio tonight. Dave is out doing his real job, the job that pays him, and we are here doing a job that doesn't really pay, I guess, but it's not even a job. Anyways, it's nice to see you all. It's nice
gives
to be
us great
here.
emotional satisfaction.
Emotional satisfaction?
Yeah, satisfies us.
It's satisfying, okay. This is a song I wrote for Allison. Sun goes down over Wichita Falls. I've seen the best and I've seen them all at Days End. Nothing more beautiful to see. You wring your hair, you drape your clothes. Sun lights your silhouette shape, exposed as clear. You're bringing out the best in me. Why you wanna waste your time with me? Why you wanna waste your time with me? Morning wakes, I haven't slept all night. The sunlight warms to your skin's delight. I'm dying just to sit here and watch you breathe. Pressed to your chest lies a mother's joy. Dreams little dreams of a little boy. Feels like a luck I can't believe. Why you wanna waste your time with me? Why you wanna waste your time with me? It's been 10 years or maybe 12, and we've had some times that have felt like hell, but you held your ground. You stayed strong and true for me. And the good times that far away the bad, and the happiness it outweighs the sad. It's just one question here, and my friends agree. Why you wanna waste your time with me? Why you wanna waste your time with me? Now the years have passed, they've grown and gone, and all I can do is sing this song in a voice that cracks, a melody carefree. On the porch we sit as the sun fades away. We wave to the neighbors across the way. I still can't believe you did all this with me. And you say, do you want to waste some time with me? Do you want to waste some time with me? Do you want to waste some time with me? Do you want to waste some time with me? There you go. Song called Waste Your Time off the album No Dark, No Light, if anybody's curious about that. Longtooth Beverage Company is what we drink here on the show. I've been caught. Longtooth.
Somebody's been caught.
The delivery didn't make it.
Lucas.
The delivery didn't make it, so I am drinking from the Longtooth glass, but it is Stella tonight. The store doesn't carry the lagers. That's the other thing, eh? It's sort of weird. You gotta get the lager in the store, Lucas. It's so good. Let's take a look at the message board, see what we got going on here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, we got a great old crowd here. We got the regular gang. How you all doing? Hey, Steve, Richard, Deb, David Burrows. Nice to see you, sir. I will get back out to Sarnia again sometime. I hope the radio world is treating you well. It's been a lot of changes since I saw you last there, my friend. I know you've got a bunch of stuff happening online. We should reconnect. I'd love to hear what's going on. Hey, James, how you doing, brother? Oh, man, I'd love to start a Circle Jerks off tribute band. That would be a lot of fun. James, thank you for suggesting that. Anyways, it's nice to see everybody here. Gary Pomfret, nice to see you, nice to see you. What a great crowd we got here now. We got a great show planned for you. We got a couple of great interview times. We've got some cool stuff happening. Right now we are going to play you the first single from the DAGG Sessions. This is a song called Drunk, Stoned, and Broke. And Drunk, Stoned, and Broke has a neat video. Check it out online if you haven't seen it. We did just do our second video for our second single, which we'll play for you later on the show again.
Third.
$1 a day. Yeah, that's questionable. I know. End of the World wasn't really part of the DAGG Sessions because it was released before, and we've actually re-recorded it with Steve. So I've been commenting online that there is sort of 3 songs from the DAGG Sessions, but one of them is actually an earlier kind of demo, even though it sounds great too. Anyways, we have another version of End of the World coming in the DAGG Sessions. So there will be the DAGG Sessions plus the first Steve release that we did. I think that's kind of the way, but even the ad that I put up today said the first 3 DAGG Sessions are available, so you're right. In fact, there was a parentheses around it, though.
Could have saved an entire 2 minutes worth of showtime.
There's no shortage of showtime, Neil.
Apparently not.
This is my moment. There is no shortage of showtime. Oh. Let's play a little Drunk, Stoned, and Broke there, boys.
Right.
Getting there.
Getting there. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Drunk, stoned, and broke, and I don't know if I'll see the sun tomorrow. If I come down from this place, I hope that I might never see your face again. Pushed back another round to drown away my sorrow. You know I'll hate myself tomorrow. But good God, I need it tonight. Good God, I need it tonight. Have another toke and slip quietly to understanding nothing. Your words like poison smoke, and I'd rather see you floating in the air. Push back another round to drown away my sorrow. You know I'll hate myself tomorrow. But good God, I need it tonight. Good God, I need it tonight. Drunk, stoned, and broke, and I don't know if I'll see the sun tomorrow. And if I come down from this place, I hope that I might never see your face again. Push back another round to drown away my sorrow. You know I'll hate myself tomorrow. Good God, I need it tonight. Good God, I need it tonight. Good God, I need it tonight. Good God, I need it. Oh, Wednesday, dryness. Throat's dry today. I came home from Newfoundland with a bit of a cold, and the lingering cough is still there. I mean, it wasn't, the vid, so to speak, but it stuck around for a while in my nose and my throat. Never really got bad, just annoying,
Maybe we need to go back there and, return it to its origin.
Well, yeah. I just don't know who I would have got it from. I was in contact with a lot of people in a short period of time, and it's just sort of bay flu or bay cold, right? Oh, Barry, we got some pictures from this weekend, don't we?
Yeah, we sure do.
We had a great time this weekend. It was beautiful out. Hey, look, there's Alison with Jack and Stanley and Neil walking miles away from the house. You see that clock tower in the background? That's like halfway to our home. We're up behind the clock tower in those trees. But we made it down along the canal. Her new wheelchair took us out for about 6 kilometers in total, which was great. We got out for a walk, and what's the next photo? It might be a chrome on the canal photo. Yeah, it was all these super great cars.
Wow.
Really, really beautiful stuff. It was quite nice.
I love those tail fins.
That caddy was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, it's like 2 inches off the ground. It's got to have some kind of.
I think he's got
lift.
gas lifters in it or something.
Yeah, but Jack's all happy. He's got his new little pouch that sits on Alison's lap, and it clips onto him, so he's clipped into his little pouch, so he's quite happy. And Alison got new shoes. See her pink new runners. Alison has these big Velcro shoes that are really warm, and they're not really made for breathing, so to speak, but they're made for ease of use. But we stopped at the dollar store and got her those. We're quite happy with those. What else did we do that day? Oh, we went to the tent. We had some food with Steve. We ran into Steve Petico and his lovely lady friend Spike, who I've heard lots about and got to meet for the first time. And we sat and had some grub there, which was really nice. That was at the Incredible Edibles Festival. What a great time. It is amazing dumplings. The dumplings were great. And then we hung out after, and that's Melissa Payne Band. Melissa Payne Band played. That's Nicholas Campbell playing with her there, and a few people I didn't know. But great set from Melissa, absolutely fantastic. And Incredible Edibles was a great success. Thanks to Ray for putting that off and making that all happen as he does. Well, not the entire Incredible Edibles thing, the music portion of it. Edibles sort of comes from their a big team of people. So that was the weekend. What a great time. And it inspires me to think about farmers, you know, and what do farmers do in the winter? You know,
Hibernate. Go to Florida.
they curl, and they drink at the local curling alley,
Ah, okay.
right next door to the bowling rink. You know the curling alley next to the bowling rink?
That's right.
I think of it more as a towny recreation than actually farmers.
So do I.
More of a what?
A towny recreation.
Yeah.
But then I'm from town, so when I lived in the country, I didn't know any curlers.
No.
But in town, yes.
Just the one the ones the neighbor lady wore in her hair, right?
Yeah.
You're bound to find some farmers at the local curling rink,
No doubt.
curling alley. Now the lounge is full of farmers for the 7:30 draw. Teammates all left before they had to buy a round. When they pull the 50-50 and I lose again, I'll go. Maybe have one more brown one for the snowy road. And the championship banners growing yellow on the wall have my name when it gets closer to last call. So Elvira brings my bottle, hold it up and let it bend. Figures of two rinks battling an extra end. And I'm peeling off the label as they peel the corner guard. Dance down the sheet to the sound of Hurry, Hurry Hard. And my popcorn squeaks a question, wonders why I'm not at home, where you wait beside a silent telephone. Doodle circles within circles all alone. Have to stop myself from climbing on a table full of empties to yell why can't I ever stop where I wanna stay? Why can't I draw right up to what I wanna say? Slide right through our days. I'm always throwing hack weight. Never, 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 never. Right off, no, 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 never, 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 ever. Right off, no, never. And the senior bonds me of winners, circa 1963, are all staring, glaring disapprovingly from the frame in that old photograph of me. And I know you're out there waiting for an answer I can't give. So tell me why can't I draw right up to what I wanna say? Why can't I ever stop where I wanna stay? Roll right through our years, drift right through our months, slide right through our days. I'm always throwing hack weight. Never, 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 ever. Right off, no, never, 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 ever. Right off, no, never, 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 ever. Right off, no, never, 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 ever. A little Weakerthans for you. Beautiful rendition, guys. Thank you for taking the time to learn that and play it so well. What a treat. I think that goes out to Tony Arkell, who had requested it for the all request show last week, but we didn't get to it. We ran out of time. That was Tournament of Hearts. And if it wasn't for Tony, well, Tony.
Whoever it was for, you're welcome.
Exactly. Exactly. That'll do it. Okay, so we're going to move right into the Mike Heffernan video right now. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to third-time book writer, novelist, oral historian, fictioneer, semi-fictioneer, non-fiction. I'm not quite sure what it is, but he's going to tell us all about it. Mike Heffernan right here, ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, as you see, I'm chatting with old friend here. Actually, not really old friend. I'm chatting with Mike Heffernan, author and friend. And when I say old friend, I mean we come from the same circle from 30 years ago, but we missed each other by just a couple of years growing up. I think you're a little bit younger than me, are you, Mike?
I am, yeah.
Yeah, so we missed each other by just a few years. And after I left, Mike became a big part of the scene with a lot of bands that I wasn't really around for, like Bung and Potbelly and all that stuff. So, Mike, you are a Newfoundland author, eh?
I most certainly am.
and it's weird. This is I interviewed with you like what 5 years ago for this book.
Maybe even longer, man.
It's been a long time coming, but as I'm doing some research, I'm realizing this isn't your first book. This is actually your third. Plus,
Yep.
you've been editing work on others as well, right?
Yes, yeah. So my first book was in 2009. That's Reagan Oral History of the Ocean Ranger Disaster.
Yeah.
And then a couple of years later, I did Taxi Cab, or The Other Side of Midnight, Taxi Cab Stories. It was in 2012. And now Let It All Fall.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So what's been the inspiring thing for writing for you? Is this something you've always been doing, or?
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah. Well, I mean, I was that kid who went to the library in grade 3 or 4 by myself. But I guess my mother is a great storyteller, so maybe I got it from her. But I've always had a fascination with history, particularly military history. I have a graduate degree in military history. But while I was doing my master's degree, it's actually, this is how I started with oral history, because to understand why I do what I do, you have to understand, I suppose, where oral history entered my life. So Holocaust studies, a large portion of that particular discipline is oral history. And so that's how I was introduced to it, reading about soldier stories, that sort of thing. And so I got out of university and I read a book called Voices from Chernobyl. So many of your viewers probably saw the Chernobyl show that came out a couple of years ago. And that's loosely based on that by an author named Svetlana Alexievich. So she presents survivors, families, people from Pripyat as voices, and that's how she works. Speaking, her ideas are presented through the voice of interviewees, and so that's kind of like ethnography. But oral history emerged in the 1970s, 60s, and 70s with the anti-Vietnam, anti-nuke, women's lib, civil rights movement, because of course history is generally what's referred to as top-down, so important people like politicians, and as opposed to real social change starts from the bottom, not from the top. So oral history emerged through people like Studs Terkel and Howard Zinn, People's History of America. Anyway, and so there's a large contingent of authors within oral history writing about labor. So I wanted to write about the Ocean Ranger disaster because my father's side of the family was directly impacted by it, and that's how I got started. So that book is about not just the disaster, but the lasting impact on people's lives. And then the next book was more essays with some the voice of taxi cab drivers. So I wanted to describe social change and economics within St. John's through the lens of the taxi cab industry. And this, although, I mean, it is, Let It All Fall is, it sits right amongst those books like Please Kill Me by Legs McNeil, and also Everybody Loves Our Town, kind of like the official history of grunge in Seattle. And I wanted that to Let It All Fall be very similar to that. What was unique about Let It All Fall during the interview and research process, I realized that there was a real groundswell of political activism that was happening in St. John's. And I knew it did exist because I grew up in the 80s and the early 90s. And I was aware, obviously, of the peace accord and the causes that were prominent during that time. And of course, looming in the background of my book, but also that era, is the cotton moratorium. So there's a whole bunch of political, social change that happened in St. John's in the 80s and 90s. And that's kind of the backdrop of the book. But essentially, it is a rock and roll story. But what's unique about St. John's is this massive existential crisis that we were going through.
Yes, it was a very interesting time. I grew up through it. It was a time of the the nuclear, the threatening nuclear bomb, and
2 minutes to midnight.
what's that?
2 minutes to midnight, the nuclear clock, remember?
Exactly. I do remember that. We actually had shirts. We had Peace Accord shirts, I think, or I got them at the Peace Accords that had the clock on them. I remember wearing those to back to school, and one of my teachers was interrogating me about it. But yeah, it was a really fascinating time, and there was a great core of people sort of spearheading it. The punk rockers were kind of hanging out, skateboarding, and making music alongside of this activism that seemed to be coming a lot from a small collective of women, actually, if I remember correctly. Sheila and Dana and the gang, and they always had something going on. They were always doing something, and because of their association with us as friends, we always ended up getting behind their thing. So it looked like a punk rock groundswell, but it was actually the punk rockers, I think, were just kind of there. We just happened to be a good little soundtrack for what was happening.
Well, when you think about political activism and those women, I mean, they were part of Plowshares Youth. So Plowshares was started in the 1960s by this guy named Daniel Berrigan, and he was, if I'm not mistaken, a Catholic priest. And there's a long tradition in the Catholic faith of social activism. Anyway, so he started this. He's the one who started burning draft cards, and him and his brother snuck into a nuclear silo and put a peace symbol over an ICBM. So Plowshares had a chapter within St. John's, and of course, this is also the era, right, of Northern Lights, Ain't Gonna Play Sun City. Political activism or was part of the broader musical culture, right? Like We Are the World. Everyone knew about the starvation of the Horn of Africa. Everyone knew about nuclear proliferation. And it's also the era of Thatcherism and Reaganomics and austerity and all those things. So usually punk rock is a reaction to political repression, right? And austerity. So those things, go hand in glove. But and of course, Newfoundland is a very conservative place as well. But you were mentioning about Sheila and them. They were, I don't know if you recall, like they all these cities in North America were pronouncing, oh well, Toronto or Vancouver, we're nuclear-free zones. And they said to John Murphy, the mayor, oh, wouldn't it be a great idea if St. John's was a nuclear-free zone? And he was like, yes, that's a fantastic idea. And little did they know, NATO nuclear submarines were refueling in the St. John's Harbor, so they couldn't do it anymore. And these are a bunch of teenagers, right? It was amazing.
Yeah. Oh my, yeah. We it was a very interesting time, and of course, musically, we had political bands like the Dead Kennedys and DRI, songs like Reaganomics and stuff. Of course, the political stuff that we were being fed through the music that we were just discovering, helped to fuel that thing. It was cool to see a band like the Dead Kennedys kind of taking a political stance, and then you turn around and Dana Warren's got hey, here, Ken, take some of these handouts and skate down, down and give them to everybody, and it's a handout for a Plowshare Youth meeting or a piece of something, or so it was really easy to be a part of it, and it was an amazing time. Now, the thing that I find interesting of it, of course, this is considered a nonfiction genre. But as soon as you get people's memories involved, there's a certain amount of fictionalization. You know, you can have two people at the same scene. Two people at Fleming Street Massacre will have a completely different story. And so you are dealing with a little bit of fiction in that it's everybody's own interpretation of the story.
Sure. One thing though about, I've been asked this for years. One thing, oral history is the oldest tradition within within the historical record. But also you have to realize that things like, what do historians usually use as their primary source material? Things like minutes from a meeting or court documents. And what are those? Oral history.
Yes.
Exactly. But what I do is I talk to people because cultural history generally goes undocumented.
Right.
So the only way to get a narrative or to do research is interview the people who were there or directly impacted by something like the Fleming Street Massacre.
Right.
But of course, you know, there are articles in the like, you know, primary sources like journalistic accounts, but largely all the material I get are from interviewees.
Right.
And you were asking about the reaction, and I always wonder about that. And you have some anxiety over it because without these people, this is, I always say, this is much my book as it is theirs.
Mm-hmm.
I just happen to be the person who collated all the material and presented it in a narrative form. But generally, the reaction has been overwhelmingly positive.
Yeah.
And one thing about cultural history is that, or in this particular instance, like a rock and roll book, it's very positive. And it's people talking about, you know, the best time of their life, as opposed to Rig, people talking about the worst time of their lives.
That's right.
So it's about a community coming together, and it's not just about remembering the past. It's about celebrating this wonderful thing that continues to grow and evolve. Because in the early days, you know, when you know, the scrappy punk rock bands around there was no infrastructure. There was nothing existed to assist musicians, and now it's just grown like this huge cultural industry in Newfoundland.
Yes.
You know, bands like Hardship Post and the Trio really forged a path to say, yeah, just because you're from Newfoundland doesn't mean you can't have a successful career in the arts, particularly music.
Exactly. No, it was, and I know as a musician who grew up and who left just, you know, on the cusp of those bands becoming both Hardship Post and the Trio. I mean, I knew the Trio from back home, but that was just sort of getting going. You know, they were still jamming Fleming Street when I left. And when they came to Toronto and, you know, won the big contest and stuff, you know, I was in the crowd with Reg and Randy Curnew right there, you know, watching them win that thing at the.
Oh yeah, I've seen Patty posted a video of it, and I can see you in some.
Yes, exactly, a young me there. So I just kind of missed it. It's going to be a really interesting read for me because I'm going to be able to catch up on, you know, the Thomas Trio and Hardship Post I'm pretty familiar with, but like, you know, Bung, for example, and Potbelly. I saw both bands once, and it happened to be when I was home on a trip. So it's going to be really neat for me to see the extension of the scene that I was a part of, you know, in the 80s, how it drifted into the 90s.
Yeah, like when we were talking about the evolution of the scene and how it grew, like the Peace Accord was an important part of that because, you know, it wasn't just a peace festival, it was a music festival as well.
Yes.
And it seemed as time went on, it became more of a music festival than a peace festival. But it was a very multi-generational scene too, as you know, that like I think about people like Lois Brown, and as a mentor to her students, but also all her friends were the political activists and the artists that came before during the cultural renaissance of the 70s. So yeah, even though like there's that influence, there's a direct link between that previous generation and then the next one. And like the Peace Accord, I mean, the Peace Accord lasted almost 25 years. So think about that, a little ragtag group of teenagers start a festival and it lasts like 20, 25 years. And all of those kids were were exposed to really progressive ideas.
Yes. Yeah, it wasn't
Everything from low-level
it was a
flying and
music
women's
festival.
reproductive rights and all that stuff was very prominent in the peace accord.
It was very much so, and it was, like you say, it was kind of a ragtag thing. I mean, I remember the early days. There was no security, so I mean, the stage would be set up for the weekend, and myself and Clark and Danny and Sean Dorn and Jack Lamphere. I mean, we'd just sleep on the stage to make sure nobody came and stole it. And it was great because we'd all get high and sort of 3 o'clock in the morning in Bannock Park. Just a small group of us watching equipment. It was all part of the experience. But yeah, it was pretty ragtag, and it was. It was nothing to be. I can't remember if it was Tough Justice or one of the bands doing exploited tune, Sex and Violence. And before the end of the song, there had to be 120 people on stage. It was just kind of it was a merging of music and audience constantly there. But it did grow into something after I left. Of course, in the 90s, it grew into something even bigger before it. I guess it died or imploded, or I'm not quite sure what happened there.
And you'll have to tune into part 2 of the video to find out what happened to the peace accord. Actually, I don't think we talk much more about the peace accord after that. He starts to get into the book after much discussion of how he writes. Fascinating, though, the oral culture thing, the oral history thing. I love that idea of speaking to 100 people that all have a shared experience and then writing the narrative using their words. It would be really, really neat. Like what a head trip. Like to put your head in all those inside all those voices. It just must be crazy. Fascinating stuff. Mike Heffernan, Let It All Fall. We'll get some more of that coming up in just a few minutes. Barry's been working at West Bend the last month or so. He's been working crazy busy time. He's loving his first summer at West Bend. He's seeing lots of great music and he's doing lots of great work. They have some great stuff coming up that I wanted to share with you. Barry, you got any of those things there? Yes. Talks about the campfire there. It's a beautiful little experience. It says for 50 people there, but I mean, you can probably get 70 there. They cook you s'mores and there's drinks and, everybody wraps themselves in blankets and brings their own chairs. And then we have people like, Del Barber and Ben Kaplan come and play some of their most intimate versions of their songs because it is campfire-y, so it's usually just an acoustic. I think Del is traveling with a steel player, and they're going to be there this Saturday, which is going to be fantastic. And then next Saturday, we've got Ben Kaplan. Ben's been on the show. You've seen Ben before, so you know what he's all about. I'm just going to, I'm going to change the order here a little bit, Barry. It only makes sense that we play a little bit of the Del Barber video here. Del's going to be at West Bend, and he is going to be on our show next week. But here's a new video that he's got on YouTube that I quite liked, and I just sort of thought I'd try and fly this in from YouTube tonight to see if this is going to work. So let's check out a little Del Barber here, ladies and gentlemen.
Turn the yard light off so I can wander at the stars. The weather woman says look out for Jupiter and Mars. Hoping we got this corner turned. All the best things we have we just didn't earn. There's a big storm coming, I can feel it in my knees. I can hear the thunderheads groaning out in the east. I got a freezer full of meat and a fridge full of beer.
So that's a little sample of Del Barber. That's a video that I just typed in his name into YouTube, and that was the first video that came up. And I went, "Fuck, this is great." I don't want to play the whole thing because get into 30 seconds plus of music and copyright strikes start coming at me, and they shut the feed down. Without an authorized song from him, which we will have for next week, Him and his steel player are going to come here on Sunday morning, I believe. We're going to have some breakfast, and they're going to record a couple songs here in the studio for us. It's going to be great for next week. Now, for those of you in town, you have to go see them at West Bend. I mean, the West Bend shows, those shows out there, everything. The Willow Hill, the Barn Stage, of course, and the Campfire, and even the stuff that Ben is doing in the wild out there. They're just doing amazing stuff. Westbend.ca is the website. You should definitely look at their calendar of events. It's incredible. I mean, we've got people like Del coming, but we've also got, who's there tomorrow night? Ben Heffernan tomorrow night, right, Barry?
No, tomorrow night it's Ben.
Not Ben Heffernan?
Finley.
Oh, Ben Finley tomorrow night.
Yeah, and then Friday night is the Ben.
Ben Heffernan on Friday night. I thought tomorrow was Friday night. Okay, what's Ben Finley doing tomorrow night? Is this his bass stuff, or?
Yeah, he's got something with a mime that's called Sounds of Silence. So he's got a mime thing happening with a band. Right?
Wow. Ben Finley is Brian's son, and he's an incredible musician and just such a great talent. Such a great talent. West Bend, check it out. The DAGG Sessions are coming along really nice. For those of you who have been following, Barry, you want to hit that DAGG Sessions video there for a moment? Tell me when you're ready there.
Have another toke and slip quietly to understanding nothing. Your words like poison smoke, and I'd rather see you floating in the air. Well, you'll work harder with a gun at your back for $1 a day. You'll trade away your years to fight the fears they feed you for $1 a day. No sense in asking, is this the end of the world? We'll know it's over when it's done. There's so many ways I pictured in my head, but I never saw this one.
That's the little ad that's running for the DAGG Sessions, which I'm really proud of. And of course, it comes back to the conversation: are we 2 or 3 songs in? And it's, even just listening to that, like I can hear the difference. Like the first 2 songs, they were recorded in the same place and time. And the other one was recorded a year ago in a different space and a different time, and it sounds totally different. So the DAGG Sessions are, what camera angle I got going there tonight? That one's like, it's like Star Trek or something. I love it. We're in this massive room all of a sudden.
There you go, hashtag ISBT.
Captain on the bridge.
Oh my, oh my.
You have the con.
Anyways, we're really excited for the DAGG Sessions, how they've been moving along, and it's been just great fun, putting all that together for you all. I do want to hear from you, though. CDs or vinyl or just streaming? I don't know what to be doing. I know everybody says CDs are dead, but at the same time, I buy CDs still sometimes. Haven't in a while. I've been buying a lot more vinyl recently, but you're still buying CDs. There are people who are. Anyways, let me know. I got to figure that one out. Anyways, not part of the DAGG Sessions. We're part of the DAGG Sessions. You will decide at a point in time later. Actually, I'll tell you exactly what it is. There's a second version of this song which Steve is playing on from the DAGG Sessions, and it has the same space and time as the other songs. So that will be the official, I think. One, two, 1, 2. I don't want to hear about your new sensation. I don't want to reconnect my old relations. I don't want to hear your frustrations all of the time. It doesn't hurt sometimes to say that she's a girl. It doesn't take a genius to rule a broken world. It doesn't hurt sometimes to ignore the facts all of the time. There's no sense in asking, is this the end of the world? We'll know it's over when it's done. There's so many ways I pictured in my head, but I never saw this one. Close truths are dangerous, rumors and lies, far from the truth and nobody's surprised. We're all too busy watching Peaky Blinders all of the time. It's okay to look outside your doors, it's okay to clean your dirty floors, it's okay to wash your hands all of the time. There's no sense in asking, is this the end of the world? We'll know it's over when it's done. There's so many ways I pictured in my head, but I never saw this one. No sense in asking, is this the end of the world? We'll know it's over when it's done. There's so many ways I pictured in my head, but I never saw this one. I saw that all unfold in your head. I watched your mind just sort of fall like a house of cards.
I know. I thought I'd figured it all out, and apparently I was wrong.
Just when we were doing sound check, we haven't played this song in a long time, and we got to the end, and Neil always plays a part where he sort of plays it's a repetition of the notes, but it's a rhythm.
Yeah.
And in my head, I was hearing that something that I used to do that he does in the solo now, and it's a really neat little part, it's a little melody. And I said, you could do that at the end. And we tried to play it, and of course they don't actually syncopate to end at the right spot. And we tried it for like 10 minutes. He tried all this different stuff, and then finally, it's like, no, we'll stick with the original, and it'll be fine. And as we were getting there, I just looked over, and I saw him. He kind of had this determined look on his face. He was like, I'm gonna do the new thing. And he started to play it. And he got like 3 notes in, and then he went up to the old one, and then he started to play it. And then he couldn't remember what the old one was either, and everything just fell like a house of cards. And he just stopped playing until the very end.
That's all right. That's the beauty of live music.
It's fantastic. I just love it. I love it. That's just amazing. That's an amazing moment. That's why I talk about it in such detail. Oh my. Hey Barry, do you want to hit us with that little infomercial there?
Yeah. Sorry, I got caught up there.
I know, we all get caught up in things sometimes. Sometimes that's just
Hey
the way it
folks,
goes.
thanks for tuning in to the Whiskey Wednesday show. Every Wednesday we will be here, rain or shine, richer or poorer. Tip jar is in the link above. Never expected but always appreciated. Never confuse the size of your paycheck with the size of your talent. I've got all the money I'll ever need if I die by midnight. Always appreciated, never expected. Please feel free to drop us a line regarding anything, including a link to your money. Cheers.
Yes, the never expected, always appreciated part is the part to take out of it. We do this for the love of it, and it's the usual gang on the actual live show. I know a lot of people watch it through the week and when it's been segmented. A lot of people watch those things. But the live group that are here to see all the sort of in-between banter and mistakes, hey, thanks for keeping us alive and giving us a reason to do this for sure. Yes, we're going to plan a fundraiser. We're going to do a fundraiser because there's a few things we need to deal with. We need to get a little bit of advertising under control here and get a little content work done and blah, blah, blah. Anyways, we're going to hit you up with that later. We're going to play one more song, then we're going to get back to the Mike Heffernan video.
and me, oh God, I'm one. My mother was a tailor. She sewed my new blue jeans. My sweetheart was a gambler, Lord, way down in New Orleans. Now the only thing a gambler needs is a suitcase and a trunk, and the only pleasure he gets out of life is when he's on a drunk. You fill the glasses up to the brim and pass the cards around, and the only time he's satisfied is rambling from town to town. And the only thing a gambler needs is a suitcase and a trunk, and the only time he's satisfied is when he's on drunk. I'm going back to New Orleans. My race is almost run. I'm going back to end my life way down in the rising sun. I'm going back to New Orleans. My race is almost run. I'm going back to end my life way down in the rising sun. Won't you tell my baby sister not to do what I have done? Watch out for that house down in New Orleans. They call the rising sun. There is a house down New Orleans. They call the rising sun. There's been in the room many a poor girl and
Oh, not quite sure. Interesting version of that one. That kind of went all over the place. That's what happens when you play a song once every 2 years. A little Dylan for you there on Wednesday night. So let's get back into the conversation with Mike. He's going to tell us a little bit about the book and where you can get it and all that type of groovy stuff. Coming right at you.
Well, I should mention for your viewers that really the centerpiece of the book is the Fleming Street Massacre, as you alluded to earlier. So that's like Cole's notes here.
Yeah.
At the Thomas house, Thomas Train and Red Albino, their mother had a party for Charlie Tomlinson. Charlie just directed Andy Jones' amazing new play, Don't Be Dead. So it's Charlie's birthday. They had a party for Charlie. There was noise complaints there, as you can imagine. The boys are jamming. It's a little squat little house on Fleming Street.
Yep.
Anyway, the cops come a number of times, and then enough is enough. They were let in the house by Charlie and Andy. Up goes the racket. But the police and they hauled off a bunch of people.
Yep. Politicians as well.
What's that?
I said, I think there was some politicians at that party.
I'm not sure, but so what ended up happening is that the police were in the home illegally because the homeowner asked them to leave and they weren't let in by the homeowner. Anyway, so John Whalen, singer of Bong from Anna Bong, his father Norm Whalen was a prominent lawyer in town. So, people who were arrested fought the charges, and it went all the way to the Supreme Court of Canada. And it was sort of a test for what is known as an ancient common law called castle law. So it's like open in the name of the king. Every man's home is his castle. So basically it says, police come in, they have to be let in by the homeowner. And if they're asked to leave, they have to leave immediately. So Norm, won that case, and the provincial government fought it for years. But what it did was imbued this little ragtag bunch of peace activists and punk rockers with a sense of purpose. Yeah. So as you know, like as a musician, this thing cultural historians refer to as the 0 hour. It's kind of that, as I say in the book, a lightning rod kind of moment that galvanizes a scene. And so for them, that was the moment. It was like they're, I think Sheila said, well, when the cops showed up, we were dancing our asses off to Ain't Gonna Play Sun City, which of course was about Sun City was the big resort for Westerners in apartheid Africa.
Yep.
And but anyway, yeah. So it imbued that scene with a sense of purpose, and actually out of that came the Fleming Street Massacre Blues Band, which evolved into Bong later. Yeah. So that is the pivotal point in the book.
Very interesting. Very interesting. I was at the Fleming Street Massacre. Well, I wasn't actually at the massacre. Apparently I left like 15 minutes before the cops got there. So I just missed it. And then I heard about it later on. We were over in Bannerman Park. Of course, the young punk rockers, we all had our skateboards. So, no matter what party was happening, there was always an opportunity to go for a shred somewhere. So two of us had broken off to go over to Bannerman Park, and we heard about what was going on. I remember that whole thing unfolding. It was pretty.
Yeah, I think Charlie Tomlinson said, the RNC had 13 cars on patrol that night. 12 were at Fleming Street. One was in Mount Pearl getting rocks thrown through the window. And it's funny. I actually found an article about that there's a house party and the guys came out and started throwing rocks through the window of the police car. That was true. And when Charlie was let in, this is hilarious. When he got arrested, he was in the back of a squad car. The officer turns around and goes, "What? Aren't you the fella in the Venice Pizzeria commercial?" Hilarious. And that's something people, I tried to really imbue the book with a sense of humor. I didn't have to try that hard because there's a lot of comedy in the stories and in the narrative. It isn't all serious. And a lot of people have said, it's like, man, it is a really funny book.
Yes.
There's some serious stuff in there, but I tried to, like I said, imbue it with a sense of humor. And I did that with my taxi cab book as well, because when you're talking about important things, you beat someone over the head with a hammer, they're not going to want to hear what you're saying. But if you imbue with a sense of humor, you're more open to the things that I'm talking about.
Yes, and I even want to read that book now just because you used a Ron line for the title. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, the title "Let It All Fall" is Bong did a song "Let It All Fall," but it was actually a Mike Wade tune.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I love the line, which I use in the introduction. You better get up on the table because the rock ain't always stable. Fantastic.
Wow. Mike Wade was a huge character in the scene at the time.
And a great friend to you.
A great friend of me. Everything from being involved with the Newfoundland and Labrador Shakespeare Company to being one of the most outrageous and progressive songwriters that I've ever worked with. We shared a house just down from Fleming Street, and I played in his band, and we did a 10-song recording at one point. He was a genius, genius and a madman, I guess. That's the way that he'd probably like to be documented.
I remember you mentioned to me that you had one of those recordings, and he got them all off everyone, destroyed them all.
He did, yeah. I had one cassette tape, and he asked me to borrow it so we could make a copy of it. And I said, sure. And I gave it to him the next day. I said, you done with that? He said, you're not getting that back. I got them all now. And that was it.
Actually, I was at Fred's last month, and the recording that Justin Hall and Barry Newhook did with him, I found a copy still sealed.
Yes, I saw you posted that. Yeah,
I was like, wow, that's a cool find.
Yeah, it's a very, very cool find. I'm still looking for some Mike Wade for my collection. Believe it or not, I don't have any Mike Wade stuff, but I got some people looking out for me. So
yeah, I haven't heard. And Barry has talked a lot about the band from Hell, but I haven't heard any of that stuff.
Yeah,
it's just impossible to find.
And Mike was, like I say, he was so weird about going around and it's just taking stuff back. If he didn't want it out, there was nobody going to have it. So
yeah.
But
yeah, the very first, I think it was the very first Fur-Packed Action show. They played at Mon with Liz Band, and Mike Wade opened.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
that would have been quite a show.
Yeah, but of course, Mike Wade is one of those people that were, the previous generation, who were there as mentors for the next generation. Right? He was one of those people.
He was a mentor. He was the hardest of the mentors.
Sean Panting talks about that a lot.
Yeah, I mean, Mike and me were friendly, but I mean, most of my friends, when I was home, I'm like, oh, let's go find Mike Wade. They're like, I don't want to fucking see Mike. He's such a dick to me. He could be a
caustic personality.
Caustic is the exact right word. Yeah, but I absolutely loved him. But even I'd run into him in Montreal years later. After I'd left Newfoundland, I'd be playing with a band, and he'd come out to a show, and he'd come up to me after and he'd give me a big hug, and he'd say, "You can do better than this." Oh, thanks, Mike. Okay.
I guess that's a compliment.
Yeah, exactly. It was a compliment. It was made with love, but it was also like caustic. Is the
yeah.
But we had a great opportunity working with those older people back then, and I'm glad that you've documented it, and having it centerpieced around the Fleming Street Massacre is great, because that was actually where a lot of us met. There was myself and Danny and Clark and all the young skaters, and then there was Louie and Lil, who were a couple years older, and then Robbie, of course, who was their mother, was friends with Lois and all those people. And Lois Brown brought myself and Rick Mercer and Andrew Younghusband and Christine Taylor and Ashley Billard and all of these people into working with the Codco folks, Mike Wade, Janice Spence, all of those people. And it was an amazing time to be alive. It was amazing to be a teenager and to have such influence by respected TV and music personalities.
I think that was the era when Rick Mercer, actually you mentioned Rick, and Rick was writing his memoirs at the same time that I was doing this. So that was a weird serendipitous moment, interviewing him while he's writing down notes for his own stuff, But I don't think that's coincidental. I wouldn't be able to venture a guess why it happened, but the same thing when I was doing Rig, 2 other books were Lisa Moore was doing February, and Susan Dodd, who lost her brother in the disaster. She's a sociologist at King's College, and she was writing it from a completely different angle, obviously. She was writing about blood money, but it's like these things sort of happen. I don't know. Maybe there's something in the air, but I thought that was fantastic that Rick was talking about growing up in St. John's at that particular time, and doing it at the same time I did. But he said, well, I remember when I first went up to the mainland, it seems like where are you from? And he'd say, Newfoundland. They're like, oh, I'm so sorry. And now they're like, oh, it's exciting. What's Raymond's like? Do you know such and such? It's like, very fashionable now to be from Newfoundland, right? And I think that kind of started. It began in, when the Cobb moratorium happened, the government was pumping a lot of money into the cultural arts. Now, I'm not saying that the underground music scene directly benefited from it, but as you mentioned, Codco was going on then. The art scene was just beginning to really mature and become, not just our scene, but Rick was doing his one-man show.
Yep.
Newfoundland and how people view it now, I think, kind of began then.
I think you're right too. NIFCO was big on the go. There was lots of
all these things were
money coming in for making films and stuff, which was really good.
Yeah, I mean, the previous generation, there was no path. Right?
No.
They had to create their own path.
Yeah, and it was
people like Chris Brooks and the Mummers Troupe and Codco, all those things. There was no LSPU Hall. There was nothing.
Yeah, it was all find your own way. Yeah, I mean, there was a certain element of that was still going on in the punk community. I mean,
of course. Punk was relatively new.
Well, yeah, and you talk about it in the book. I mean, there was no touring acts coming down, so the bands would actually bring the bands down. DOA, SNFU, Deja Voodoo, stuff like that. That happened because the bands, few key people in particular. That was probably Sweet Apple and Jarrett and that gang, who did that the most. We had to pave our own way. If we wanted to see a band, we had to bring them in.
Yeah, can you imagine like DOA or SNFU coming all the way from Vancouver, across Canada to play for 60 young punks in an ad hoc venue?
Probably one of the best shows ever, though. I mean, those nights were friggin' incredible. It was like going back in time.
Yeah, and just to see now where, there's just plethora of professional musicians, venues to play in. Music NL. I mean, MIA started the Music Industry Association at this time, like in the early 90s with Fred Brokenshire starting it. And that was the first professional music organization representing musicians in the province, right? And it was necessary at that time. Before, it wasn't probably necessary because there wasn't enough of them.
Yeah, exactly. No,
even though this is out of context from the bands that we're talking about, like Great Big Sea started, the biggest band to ever come out of Newfoundland.
Absolutely.
Like I'm sure Rankin Street, which they were before, they were probably playing gigs with some of the punk bands too.
Oh, they were all. It was all part of the scene, Great Big Sea, and the sort of non-punk bands like PTR band, the part-time reggae band.
Yeah.
And of course, the Dead Reckoning. I mean, these were all bands that weren't necessarily punk bands, but they were a part of the scene, and it was pretty huge bands to have around. I mean, they were great musicians and great part of the scene. It was. I mean, in my experience, musically, that those couple of years in Newfoundland from sort of 82 to 87 or 88. I mean, just amazing time in my life. And I left shortly after that. Sorry, there's that one now. I left shortly after that. So it's fascinating to see that the development with, like you say, bands like Bung and stuff like that. And I was lucky to see them once when I came home, which was great.
Well, I mean, this book started off really, I wanted to document the history of my favorite local band. So that's how it began. And then it morphed into, I'll do 10 or 12 life stories. And then it just morphed into this massive project that just seemingly would never end.
How many people did you interview?
Marathon and then a complete sprint to the end.
How many people did you interview?
I don't know, probably about 130.
So 130, average a couple hours each, couple hundred. That's you're into 200 or 300 hours of
Luckily now, AI technology takes out the process, removes the process of typing these interviews, because 10 minutes, I can type pretty blistering fast, but 10 minutes of an interview is an hour typing. Right, so that's a lot of time that I put in that. But then there's all the hundreds of hours you you're in the Center for Newfoundland Studies, poking through dusty old Peace Accord pamphlets and all that stuff, you know.
Oh, well, Mike, I appreciate you doing it. It's an amazing part of the culture.
Oh, thank you so much, man. I couldn't have done it without generous people like yourself.
Oh, well, you know, we all want that story to be told. I think like myself, we look back on those years very, very favorably. And to have somebody want to capture it in any sort of detail at all is fantastic. And the way that you've done it, interviewing everybody and letting the narrative unfold through their words, I can't wait to sit down and take a read through it. Like I say, I had a skim through it. It looked fantastic. I'm really excited to see it. And where can they get the books now? Is it through Breakwater?
Okay, so you can get it at breakwaterbooks.com.
Okay.
Breakwater talk about legacies. Breakwater is the first publisher in professional publishing house in Newfoundland.
Man, that's amazing.
50 years, right? This year. And I feel really blessed that, you know, my book is coming out. It's kind of like their flagship for that celebration. It's really it was a really important thing to me. So breakwaterbooks.com. You can also buy it on Amazon.ca.
Amazon.ca. Cool. Yep. And locally back home, it's at Fred's and
it's at basically all the brick and mortar stores. I mean,
right. Okay.
Bookstores here. Coles, Chapters, Fred's. Is even at Fogtown.
Oh, there you go. Excellent. Yeah. Excellent.
Yeah. And on July 20th,
at
the Farmers Market here in St. John's is the summer book fair. Because what Breakwater does, they release all their season's books together, right, to create a bigger buzz and be more people. So that's Farmers Market on July 20th. I think 7 o'clock. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, man, thanks for everything you've done. Thanks for taking the time to have a chat with me here on the Wednesday show. I really look forward to. I'm going to send you off that off shirt now. You send me an address, and I'll send you an address so I can get your book. And we'll see you next time I'm home.
Yes, man, 100%. Well, for a beer.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to get up to Toronto now soon. Hopefully next year, I'd say.
Yeah, well, when you do that, you know where I am. Give me a call. I got a bed here to stay at.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much, brother. Peace out.
Thank you, Mike. You take care. Cheers.
Cheers.
There we go. Another strange little interview. I don't know. It's amazing how these things sort of happen. I've already got sort of interviews planned right till the end of the summer and into September. I got a whole list waiting. It's pretty fantastic. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's pretty Allison.
It's pretty what?
Allison.
It's very Allison.
Yeah.
I'd be like looking through my phone and calling people at random still. Hey, how you doing? You remember me? I met this guy on the road once. Yeah, anyways. No, that's pretty fantastic. I'm going to do a Slaid's Cleaves song for you. I want to thank Charmaine. Charmaine Penny lives next door. Charmaine's our neighbor, who we adore. Charmaine made chicken wings for us tonight for after the show. And Charmaine makes great chicken wings. So I just, during the second part of the Heffernan interview, I removed myself for a moment. I ran to the kitchen, and as instructed by Charmaine, I put the oven on 200. I put the wings in. That'll be about perfect for when we're done.
We got to be finished in half an hour, right? From that point.
They won't get that dry. Okay. But yes.
And I have to thank my next door neighbor, Charlie, because
Charlie
he brought
sent
over
cookies.
a little container of double chocolate cookies.
Have you had one yet?
I have not.
How did you do that?
Well, I abstained so as not to ruin, the experience of biting into one for the first time with all of you.
But I thought you were my food taster to make sure I don't get poisoned.
Oh, no, that's Stan.
Oh, my. Mr. Grant, how are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Now, you've got something happening today.
There's something happening this weekend, yes.
Who did you get together with today?
I got together with Johnny Douglas and Eric Myers, guys I used to play with in high school.
What
How
year?
many years would that be? Around 1968, 69.
Around 54 or 55 years ago.
Yeah, something like that.
You played with a band
Yeah.
called?
We had a band called Symbol, which then we changed our name to Your Mind's Eye in 1968, you know.
And this year you're
Spiritual
performing
as we
as... Which one are you performing as this year? Are you Your Mind's Eye or Symbol?
We're a conglomerate because our drummer comes from the band an echelon ahead of us, from a band called The Heat Treat.
The Heat Treat.
Yeah.
Oh, Allison's going to love all this. She's going to get to research it all and check it out.
And then in 1970, Eric and I were in a band called Universe, which
What?
is the other part of that equation. Yeah. So anyway, a
And
conglomerate
okay, when did the
band,
universe... What? Okay, sorry, continue.
Yeah.
I'm baffled by this. Yeah, continue along. Yeah.
a conglomerate band. We're appearing Saturday night at the Rock and Roll Dance. We're doing the opening set at 9 o'clock. Don't miss it.
At the
At the
Campbellford
in
Arena.
Campbellford. Yeah.
And this is part of the 100-year homecoming?
Yes.
Is that what
Yeah.
it is? So anybody who's graduated Campbellford High School in 100 years, which is
Or
basically...
attended, or, you know, if your brother attended.
Okay.
You don't have to have been there the whole 5 years.
What about if your kids attend?
Is it okay if a bandmate's attended? I can go.
Sure. Anybody can come.
Well-
as far as I know, you have to buy a ticket, though.
Okay.
We got no freebies.
Yeah, there's no freebies. No. They got to pay for this thing. This is a big town thing.
Anyway,
The
we're
whole town
appearing
is buzzed with
as Them Again.
it. Them again.
Them again.
Yes.
Okay.
Which harkens back to the days when you would change your name so that people didn't know who you were and they'd come
Right.
out and see you again.
Oh, I see.
Like the
Small town, you know,
Right,
it's a
right,
small
right.
town.
like
thing.
the monks or the Straubs becoming the monks.
The monks, yeah.
So
There you
that's
go.
what this is like. Well, I think that's amazing.
I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, hanging out with your old friends from 70 years ago.
Yeah, at least.
Well, no, but if you
We're doing,
graduated 50 years ago, then you would have known them like... Who's your oldest friend from school?
Well,
Whoa.
John and I were in grade 6 together.
Grade 6.
Yeah.
Okay, and what year was grade 6 for you?
Oh, jeez. 1962, 63
Wow.
season. Yeah.
That's wild. Grade 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's
We
very-
weren't a rock and roll band yet.
But you
In
became
fact,
one.
there weren't even any Beatles yet in
No,
our
no.
world.
Oh, right,
They
yeah.
may have
You
been
would have still
starting
been
in Hamburg or somewhere.
And you were in
But
Campbellford.
here we were in
Isolated in
Campbellford,
Campbellford, living above where the BNC used to be. where
wearing
Spirit Leaf is now.
Brill cream and everything.
Brill cream. Is that,
Yeah.
did you live above Spirit Leaf then?
Above Spirit Leaf?
Yeah.
No.
Didn't you live
not
above
me.
the BNC for a while?
No.
When you were a kid?
No, that wasn't me.
Really? I thought for sure that was you. Where did you live in town when you were a
I
child?
think that was Jim Carswell. They
Oh,
had a
that's
place
what it was
above.
actually. It was
Yeah.
Jim Carswell from across the
Yeah,
street.
yeah.
How did I make that mistake? Wow. Wow, okay. Well, there you go. Anyways, I managed to mention Spirit Leaf, so.
Yeah.
Howdy, Eric. Oh my.
So we'll be doing great rock hits from 1963 to 1968, 69, in there somewhere.
So that will include bands such as top three bands of that era.
It would be Wilson Pickett,
Wilson Pickett.
The McCoys.
maybe the Trogs.
Oh, the
Frogs.
Oh, Wildfine.
Is that like you can do
Yeah.
Wild Thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, that's on the song list. for
Yeah,
sure.
excellent.
And then Feeling All Right by Traffic,
Traffic.
stuff like that.
That was a great song.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And then Mustang Sally and a couple of
Oh, yeah, definitely.
R&B-ish kind of
Yeah.
songs.
And what happens to the rest of the night? I mean, I know that's the pinnacle.
Midnight
right?
Hour.
What happens from
Oh,
10
the rest of the
till-
night, I think there's a DJ pumping out the rock tunes
So it'll just be
for people.
it's like a dance at the stadium with the
At
band
the arena,
and
yeah.
a DJ at the arena or the stadium.
Yeah, the arena in town here.
The arena is the stadium, right? Sorry, it's not a stadium; it's an arena. I'm getting confused. It's not the curling club.
No.
Not the curling club.
No, it's
but
the arena. But
Yeah.
it's on the where the ice would be.
There's something happening at the curling club too. It's all happening this weekend.
The curling club as well. So there's going to be like you can go from one place to the other.
I
and
think the
sneak a beer
curling club
between.
has a country dance happening.
Oh my God!
And they also have
Campbellford,
a-
this is going to be crazy this Saturday night at the over at the area there.
They also
after,
have Lockie and Ben Finley playing with their band in the afternoon at the curling club.
Ah, there's all kinds of stuff happening, ladies and gentlemen. Those are, again,
think that's
Campbellford
right.
High School alumni. That makes sense.
Yeah. Chelsea Bennett, she's singing.
Chelsea's in town?
She's singing with that band, yeah.
Cool.
That's what I hear anyway. I have no reason to doubt it.
That's amazing. It's going to be a great weekend. And you're rehearsing tomorrow? You had a rehearsal today?
Yeah, and we're setting up over at the arena tomorrow to try and get some kind of sound, you know. Arenas are not kind.
Not at all.
No.
You need a lot of PA.
And a lot of people who won't be there tomorrow.
Yeah.
But it'll be a good dry run.
Yeah.
We'll have the drums in town.
All right.
Yeah, and if you can get a couple hundred people in there, you know,
And, oh, yeah.
that'll soak up everything. Ah, so exciting. Did I thank Charmaine for the chicken
You
wings? Yeah?
Yes.
God, that's all I'm thinking about now.
Well,
We
hurry
got
up
two
so
more
we don't
songs for
burn
you.
'em.
Or do we? Let's see that donation ticker box start tinking there, folks. No, I'm just kidding, for God's sakes. Do not pay us to pay music. That's the last thing in the world I want, to be paid to be played music. Oh, no. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. You're on the other side of the world tonight, but under the same cold stars. And tonight I'll dream you right back home to this little life of ours. We walk hand in hand through fields of green, just like we did last year. So hard to wake up every day and watch as your dreams disappear. It's quiet here, your little boy's asleep. He looks more like you every day. Won't you come back, my darling? Each night I pray on bended knee. Won't you come back to the green mountains and me? I see a car winding up the driveway up to your parents' place. The old man looks up from his rake as the color drains from your mama's face. She's crying softly by the window now, while your daddy shakes the soldier's hands. Tail lights disappear to the woods below her. He's frozen in the doorway where he stands. In the twilight, in the silent snow, I hear you singing in my ear. Won't you come back, my darling? Each night I pray on bended knee. Won't you come back to the green mountains and me? Seasons come and the seasons go. We live from day to day, and I lose a little bit of myself with each tear I wipe away. People on the street used to stop and chat. Now they look down and walk on by. Oh, won't you come back, my darling. Each night I pray on bended knee. Won't you come back to the green mountains and me? But won't you come back to the green mountains and me? Oh, babe, why don't you come back to the green mountains and me? It is a beautiful song. A little Slaid Cleaves for you there. On a Wednesday night. Oh man, these Wednesdays. I some of you kind of know. I know the guys in this room know, and I know Allison knows. And some of you out there know. I mean, life here at the house gets pretty repetitious. I have the studio here in the front room, and my bedroom is on the other side of the hallway, and Allison's bedroom and the kitchen, and the rest of the house are down there, and then there's the upstairs, which is the studio. And, I wake up and I go from one place to another, and then I work in that place for a while, whether it's with Allison or here in the studio or in the back room on my computer. And then I go back to bed, and then I wake up and I do it again. I have a nap sometimes in the afternoon, sometimes, every time in the afternoon. The presence of the Whiskey Wednesday show in our life is, in my life, and I think our life is huge. And I want to thank you all for it. We're becoming more and more aware of it. And I'm about to embark on actually starting to, like, we've been spreading the word about the Whiskey Wednesday show amongst the same people for years. That's what we've been doing. And that's been great. But I'm going to explore in the fall, sort of starting to get the Whiskey Wednesday show sort of expand its reach a little bit, get some more people watching, see what the masses think of it. And I'm excited to sort of approach that a little bit. At the same time, it's not the reason for the show. It's just sometimes I watch the show and I think, this is great. It's got to be a way for more people to know about it. And then I look on my social media, I went, everybody here knows about it. What am I thinking? There's got to be a way to get people who I don't know to know about this. And that's been the key. So I have no idea what I'm talking about. Neil.
Hello.
You're going racing, you're going racing, you're going to wear a helmet, you're going to wear a helmet.
I hope they got a kid size, because I got a really tiny.
Where are you going? This is your
I'm going to
Mosport,
which I think is called the Canadian Tire Motor Sport Park now, or something of the sort. But anyway, it's Mosport, which is about roughly an hour and a quarter west of here. And it is my Christmas present from you and Allison, and I am going to be driving a Lamborghini Super Trofeo around the track at ridiculously high speed.
Oh, I'm excited and terrified for you.
Yeah, well, that makes two of us.
You have this sort of habit of, like, sort of understanding a car to the point where, like, you actually kind of accelerate into a turn, which fucking freaks me out. I'm really sort of scared of how that's going to work once we get behind a fucking Lamborghini engine.
Well, we're going to find out on Friday, aren't we?
And they have, like, video cameras in the car and stuff. So
apparently they do. I think they have, GoPros that are, dash cams kind of thing.
Right.
That, get both the look on my face and on the poor soul that gets to accompany me. And you know which of the two of us is a little more terrified, don't you?
And is there an alert sensor for when the seat gets wet?
I don't know. I hope not. I sincerely hope not. It's going to go off very early. I'm quite
Do you
sure
get to save the video, because we want to see it?
Oh yeah, well, it's,
yeah.
Of course, the number one rule with that sort of thing is you always wear dark trousers.
Right. Yeah. Well, this ain't going to be just a drip. This ain't going to be after drip.
I need a whole diaper.
Yeah, I may just have to. And I can say this now. It's my grandson Oliver's 11th birthday on Saturday. And so for his birthday, he thought it was pretty awesome. He was going to go and get to watch Grandpa drive this Lambo around the track. But for his birthday, I bought him a ride in a McLaren 720S.
And a McLaren, that's like above a Porsche, but below a Ferrari?
Well, I don't think
It's like
think
a
so.
Cessna, I think.
They're pretty damn awesome cars. I mean, the McLaren 720 is actually street legal, where the Lambo I'm driving is not, and it's basically.
It's a good thing it's
other
street
than-
legal because he's 11.
Yeah.
Yeah, the word legal in there.
He is going to be doing a ride along. He will be in the passenger seat.
Oh, I thought I got to drive it.
No.
Oh, he's doing a ride along, but you're not doing the ride along with him.
No.
That would be dangerous.
That would.
Yeah.
That would.
Okay. He has a ride along with somebody who knows how to drive.
He is riding with a professional.
Does he have a steering wheel that he can feel like he's doing it?
You mean like a shopping cart?
No. I think that'd be
I don't
awesome.
think- but he could probably sit there and go.
I bet he will. I
and
bet he
stuff
will.
like that.
I bet he will.
He's,
Wow.
he's pretty damn excited.
We're excited for it. We're all excited for it. It's a great time.
And you.
Yeah. So it's gonna be
I'm
a
gonna go
fun
along
Friday.
and take pictures of everybody.
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah,
for
it'll
sure.
be a great time.
Yeah.
It'll be a great time. Okay, let's see what we got here. I was thinking about debuting a new song. I'm always scared of that. What do we think there, folks? We're getting treat people with kindness. Be nice to everybody. Yeah, we're getting to the end. We got one more song here. Oh, it's 9:30. We don't have any extra songs. It's 9:30. Okay, well, we're gonna do one more song, folks, because there's still a few of you here. 9:30 on a Whiskey Wednesday, December 11th,
Barry should go turn the oven off.
1982.
I think you should go turn the oven off.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
No,
What do you
it's all
think?
good. It's on
You should.
200. I can be on
okay.
200 till morning.
Okay. Good enough.
I mean, they'd be dried out, but they could be on 200 till morning. Just because it's late and, you're all...
Okay. If they're ruined, you can discuss it with Charmaine, because I'm certain.
They're not going to be ruined, Neil. They're going to be just fine. Next week we got Del Barber on the show. I'm really excited. I'm really excited to have him at West Bend, and go check him out at West Bend this Saturday night. We're gonna do a brand new song now. This one has been played. It's been almost ready to be played in a few different states. And we've just decided we're going to bear it out to y'all tonight. So it's a song that was a long time in the works.
It's a good one.
Not sure about that yet, but
I am.
at one point in time I was doing a series at Motel. Trying to think who gave me the anyways, it was a tag that I'd stolen from somebody when we were chatting, and I said that'd make a good song title. And then a few months later I was doing a thing at Motel in Toronto. I was going down and doing Thursday nights there, and like Whiskey Wednesday, I needed a name for it, so I titled it Barstools and Broken Hearts, because playing at Motel, it's a big long bar, and like in front of you there's like 20 just bar stools with people sitting with their backs to you, like 5 feet away, staring off that way towards the bar while you played to them. It's just the weirdest thing. It was a great place to play, a beautiful room. People would eventually turn around, but it was sort of felt like, it was just sort of bar stools and broken hearts, and some of the stories you meet there, and there was a few people that I met.
And that's Daniel Graves' bar.
Daniel Graves' bar, yeah. Anyways. There we go. It's called Barstools and Broken Hearts, and it goes like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Broken mind and broken body coming home to find life and love before the war turned cold and broke down over time. Broken family and broken love and tangled stories made up of the time you were away. A broken soldier's heart repays. Stop pretending it's a war outside. Don't pretend to be a truth from days gone by. It's just barstools and broken hearts. Another day, another fart. The fuzzy pieces in your head. Another stranger in your bed. It's just barstools and broken hearts. Another day, another start. To face the truth and climb that hill. Another prayer unwinds. Alone with the truth is the hardest time to kill. Broken jobs and broken dreams, a little too old it seems. The life you thought you'd have is only an illusion now it seems. Broken wallet and broken heart to put you in your place. The whiskey, drugs and cigarettes are filling up that empty space. Stop pretending it's just the way things go. Don't pretend to be the truth that we all know. It's just barstools and broken hearts, another night to fall apart. Puzzle pieces in your head, another stranger in your bed. It's just barstools and broken hearts, another day, another start. To face the worth and climb that hill, another prayer unwinds. Alone with the truth is the hardest time to kill. Broken promises, broken youth, the radio plays songs from our youth, the bands that we all love. Then we sang like morning doves, and broken world and broken promise, people trying to get ahead. The sympathy that we all need for all intents gets left for dead. Stop pretending there's a war outside. Don't pretend to be the truth from days gone by. It's just barstools and broken heart, another night to fall apart. Puzzle pieces in your head, another stranger in your bed. It's just barstools and broken hearts, another day, another start. To face the truth and climb that hill, another prayer unwinds. Alone with the truth is the hardest time to kill. There you go. That's the birth of a brand new one. It's always interesting. It's Whiskey Wednesday. That's where they always get played first. Not in the pub anymore. Not at that little pub down there. Still, it is back open. God bless them. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. I'm going to show you after this. The new Dollar a Day video is up. Thank you for watching it and liking it and commenting on it. If you haven't seen it, you can check it out now, or you can go to the actual YouTube page and comment or like, which algorithm, fuck, I don't know, man. I don't know. I make music. It's like I want more people to hear it. I don't know about algorithms. I'm not that far into that stuff. But enjoy it. Enjoy it however the hell you can. We're going to have a record coming out. We're going to do I'm thinking CD for the winter or for before Christmas of the DAGG Sessions, and then if we get enough people interested, we'll run vinyl, which will be ready in February or March. And it's a great set of songs. Thank you for your support so much. So after this, you're going to see the new video and then the rest of the stuff. Mr. Grant, life is good. You're excited for the weekend.
Yeah.
Fantastic, brother.
Life is great.
Neil? Yep.
Yeah. Anything new?
Beyond what we discussed? No,
I don't think so, no. Not since. Not in the last 2 minutes.
No.
Barry? Busy as fuck over at West Bend, eh? Okay.
We got a busy weekend coming, but we're all good.
We all do. And Charmaine Penny, thank you for making us chicken wings. We're going to go enjoy them. We're going to go up front and have a puff first. Yeah. And get ready to really enjoy some chicken wings. Ooh,
I have a question.
Oh, Mr. Grant has a question.
About West Bend. When is Dan Hill in town?
Oh, Dan Hill's here on Sunday.
He's here on Sunday.
On Sunday.
That's all I wanted to hear. Dan Hill is here on Sunday.
Is he on the hill, on Willow Hill?
No, he's in the barn.
He's in the barn on Sunday.
He is the hill.
I know he is the hill. He's the hill in the barn. Oh man, they could have had a ton of fun with this thing. Yeah, okay, that's cool too. They got so much amazing stuff happening over there. It's just around the corner. God bless them. So many things.
6 minutes to work. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, thank you all very much. Thanks to everybody who was around last weekend. Campbellford was busy, but everybody was pretty cool, and everybody was friendly and nice. It was nice to see the town that up and going. Gospel Fest happened, Chrome on the Canal, and the Incredible Edibles, plus West Bend and everything else that's happening. It's just been nuts. Yeah. And this weekend we got another crazy week here in town. It's so much fun being in Campbellford right now. And for those of you who aren't in Campbellford but come in on a Wednesday night to see what we do here, thank you very much. We love you. Take care. Be nice. And remember, be like Steve. Take care.
I was walking down the road when a stranger passed my way. It was empty in his business eyes. He made no move to step aside. He disregarded me. His brain was bleeding compromise. It would be a rude awakening if I knocked him down and stole away his shoes. There's no place that I'd rather be, and that place is anywhere here but next to you. Well, you'll work harder with a gun at your back for $1 a day. You'll trade away your years to fight the fears they feed you for $1 a day. I stopped along the way to hear a politician speak. He stood to stand for something. He promised better futures for everyone who took the line and got behind it. He grew ugly and unwise as he lied about the lies and how they made him feel. The cracks in his disguise grew wide and could no longer hold inside the truth that he tried to conceal. Well, you'll work harder with a gun at your back for $1 a day. You'll trade away your years to fight the fears they feed you for $1 a day. Your back for $1 a day. You'll trade away your years to fight the fears they feed you for $1 a day.
Once again, thanks for spending another Wednesday with us here at Storyhouse Studios. Thanks to Trainer, Yorkville, and the Longtooth Beverage Company for being a part of the show. We love our time on the Whiskey Wednesday show and appreciate all of your support. Don't forget to hit up the tip jar if you feel so inclined. Never expected, but always appreciated. Tune in every week for more guests, songs, stories, drinks, and gear talk. And don't forget to visit the website, www.kentizzard.com, to sign up for the Whiskey Wednesday wrap-up. Compiled by Allison, this is a monthly overview with highlights, directories of songs, and so much more. Be kind, be helpful, be happy, be safe. See you next week.
On a Jim Beam.